Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal, PeaceLoveMusic, with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our good friends over at BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Tuesday. We're getting into the week. It is the 21st of January, and things are looking good for crypto. America is back. Things are feeling good. Things are going well. And I love what's happening in the Bitcoin community. I love what's happening in the Stacks ecosystem and the broader crypto space. And I love sharing all of this with all of you. There's just so many cool things happening in the space these days. Friendly reminder, this is a news show. We are providing news and information only. We are not providing financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you can't afford to lose. And don't base your investment decisions on my opinion about anything. I sometimes get it wrong. And even when I get it right, sometimes my timing's wrong. And it's all about doing what's right for you, not what's right for me, for you. So get to know your risk tolerance, know what you're doing. Shout out to the Bitcoin Pepe crew, by the way. Thank you guys again for that swag, for all that swag nobody famous sent out to everybody. Good morning, Jamie. How are you today? I'm glad you like my pin. Guys, when you please do share out the stream, by the way. If you think that the content's decent and you think that people should be exposed to the information we are sharing, share it out. Share it out across multiple streams. Wherever you're watching it, share it out. It helps us and it helps the people that are seeing it as well. So check it out. The numbers look okay. As of about a half an hour ago, Bitcoin was coming in at 104,267. It's a little down from yesterday, but we're well over 100K. That's a great number to be carrying into the new administration. And there's so much going on. Stacks dipped down a little bit from 147 yesterday morning to $1.45, but did move up by market cap to number 54 from 55 on CoinMarketCap. Fear and Greed Index at 58, staying at neutral. The top three gainers on CoinMarketCap for the past 24 hours are Mantle, Aave, and AI16Z. Lots of stuff going on in that space. Stacks DeFi update. Hermetica's yield. Actually, I want to do something here. Such a huge yield, actually. You can go right there and start earning yield on Hermetica if you're interested. Yield on USDH, staked USDH on Hermetica right now is 58%. 58%. I got to show this, actually. This isn't a joke. $58%. 58%. You're up 10% on your USDH already if you staked it a while ago, by the way. 58%. Just crazy stuff going on Hermetica. Just bananas. 58%. Bitflow launches SBTC PBTC. It's a single-sided liquidity pair. Really cool stuff going on there. Alex's SBTC surge APY for Alex SBTC is at 80. Alex SBT pair is 87% at the close of staking for the surge campaign 2. Velar Perp Dex trading is coming soon. Return to ape. And I can't wait to be able to ape on the Perp Dex. My understanding is that end of January, beginning of February, we should have consistent 20-second fast blocks. That's according to Peter. Visions from Velar yesterday. Really interesting stuff. Zest is offering 7.29% on your SBTC just by staking it on their platform. That's 7%, a little over 7% on holding Bitcoin on Stacks with Zest. And there's all sorts of other platforms and projects in here that offer great yield as well. Stacking DAO is over 10% on their stake stacks, liquid stake stacks, and the top three STX token gainers on Velar the past 24 hours are Stacks AI, STX AI, really interesting project over there. Meme token, the MEME, meme, and SBTC are the top 3 gainers on stacks. Friendly reminder, we're going to tell you this every day. You should be stacking your stacks. Either it's on Stacking DAO and you have liquid stacks that you can earn extra yield on and deploy further into DeFi, or even just helping secure the network, which also helps secure the network, by the way, because they're staking those stacks. They're stacking those stacks on your behalf. But also, when you stack your stacks proper, you earn Bitcoin. You earn yield in Bitcoin. You're helping the proof of transfer process be stable and secure. You're helping the stacks network leverage the security and finality, security and immutability of Bitcoin finality, and you're earning Bitcoin yield at the same time. It's just a great opportunity for people. So if you haven't been in stacks, you can get STX. There's a number of ways to go. I use Coinbase. I know some people are going to hate me for using a centralized exchange, but that's where that's my fiat on ramp, off ramp is Coinbase, and I suggest that it's not a bad place to start. You can definitely get your stacks on there, although they do charge a hell of a high fee on Coinbase when you're trying to move it out of there. Their fees are high, but the cost to purchase is low. And there are a lot of other ways you can do it. You can actually do it right through your Lether app, your Xverse app, through a bunch of different protocols as well, but they take a higher fee on the purchase. But then it's in your wallet, so you don't have to worry about moving it from the exchange. So anyway, when you stake your stacks and you earn yield in Bitcoin, get into it. You should definitely be on stacks. The stacks calendar for the day, there's nothing on the stacks calendar right now. We are still working on building out our calendar for DeOrganized at deorganized.media. If you haven't yet, head over there. You can set up your account. It's just a simple wallet connection and signature to confirm that you're the owner of the wallet, and then you can set up your account. And if you have shows that you're hosting, spaces you're running, live streams, working group stuff, that's a regular thing that you want us to help promote out to the community, we can get it on the stacks calendar for you. We can also put it on the DeOrganized calendar, and that gives us a little bit better capacity to shout out some of this stuff, and more development coming on that. We do have our show every day, Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m., the Good Morning Show with me. I got GPSC every day. Then we have regular guests coming on. We got Staxy every Monday. We've got Good Kitty, aka Melanie Carson's, every Wednesday. Mike Jagdeo has joined the show regularly now. And then we also, that's Blockface for those that know, Jack Binswitch always anchoring the Friday morning show. And now we actually have great guests lined up. We have Gnome, the advisor from both Stacking DAO and Zest, coming on to talk to us about Zest protocol tomorrow morning. We have Lior from Stacking DAO coming to talk about Stacking DAO on Thursday morning and some new updates there. And Jacob from Hermetica is actually going to be joining us on Friday with Jack. So we got a lineup of great guests the rest of the week. So tune in Monday through Friday. We also have Landy's show coming in at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I think we also have Art on Stacks with Good Kitty and Reese and maybe Nieta at 2 p.m. Usually there's a regular, I think that's right, at 9 a.m. Today, and I think it's every Tuesday, is the Clarity Working Group call with Seth Zeus, and Gary Reiger is joining that, kind of combining his Zero to Clarity group with that to get more broader coverage of what's going on. There's sometimes going to be a little bit deeper, sometimes it's going to be a little bit more new stuff, and we're interested in seeing more of that. So if you are looking to code or build and you're looking to learn more about Clarity, a great place to start is the 9 a.m. call with the Clarity Working Group every Tuesday or every other Tuesday. I'm not sure because the format has changed. But that is what we have for the calendar for the day. The U.S. Government Efficiency Department, DOGE, Government Efficiency Department. No, it's the Department of Government Efficiency. That's weird. So led by Elon Musk, launches its official website using the Dogecoin as its avatar. I kind of hate that, actually. I think it makes it look cartoonish, unserious. And that's a serious thing we need, actually, is an oversight department that is actually ensuring that, let's face it, it's an anti-corruption move. We got a meme token as its face, so I don't know. It's a little sus, if you ask me, as to what their intentions really are, but we'll see. Solana hit back-to-back all-time highs in DEX volume, reaching $28.2 billion on Saturday and $39.2 billion on Sunday. It was all because of the Trump and Milana tokens launched. That's all it was for. But I do think that Solana is the place for those things right now, based on the liquidity and the UX. I know it froze and it stopped, and people gambling at the casino aren't that concerned about the regulations until they get burned. Utah proposes a bill allowing up to 10% of state funds to be invested in Bitcoin and stablecoin. That is state adoption. Actually, I think I have the... Bitcoin's choppiness index signals a major move ahead as SBTC, not SBTC, as BTC hovers near the 100K mark, with analysts eyeing a breakout trend soon. President Donald Trump predicted to pardon Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht in his first week with an 84% likelihood per Polymarket. Jupiter Exchange has entered the top 5 finance apps in the U.S. App Store rankings. Jupiter is the number one main exchange, the first decentralized exchange on, I think it's decentralized, on Solana. I haven't looked into it. Let me know if you know if it is decentralized or not. I believe it is. It's supposed to be. It's alleged to be, but I don't have the time or really the technical know-how to determine that one specifically. Neither Bitcoin or cryptocurrency have been named on the immediate priority list for Republican lawmakers. I think that's this one. I want to share this real quick. So, make America safe again, make America affordable and energy dominant again, drain the swamp. Nothing about Bitcoin, nothing about crypto. Withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, announce America First trade policy. Some of these things are great. And I do think that if we can get cheap energy available to everyone, that would be a positive economic generator and help rise the tide a little bit. But I'm not super bullish on the fact that they didn't give us any kind of nod from the Congress. So, just be patient, people. Things might not happen as rapidly as you think. If you can only hold one altcoin for the next 10 years, which would it be? Let us know in the comments. The Ethereum Foundation has allocated 50,000 ETH to support and participate in the Ethereum DeFi ecosystem. That's over $150 million at today's Ethereum price. It's actually closer. It's kind of closer to like 200 million. Donald Trump was officially sworn in as the 47th president of the United States yesterday. SEC announced the resignation of Gary Gensler. President Biden has issued an executive order pardoning his family members as well as Dr. Fauci, which actually identifies that they were acting criminally and they knew it, which we all kind of knew anyway, right? This isn't news, but how brazen. And these are the people that we allowed to steal an election, and then after they waged this massive censorship campaign to push talking points that turned out to be false, but they used fear to get you to comply with their nonsense, and now they've de facto pardoned themselves, meaning insulated themselves from prosecution for that. It's really messed up. The 47 president purchased $47 million worth of wrapped Bitcoin and $47 million worth of Ether yesterday. Ethereum. That's interesting. Should have gone with SBTC, Don. There's always time to convert it back. Donald Trump has assumed the POTUS handle. America and crypto is back. Let's go. If you guys haven't heard about what's going on over at aibtc.dev, you have to check it out. They launched a process for launching an AI DAO that is run and managed by AI agents. All you have to do is post on X at prompt2DAO, telling it the details of the DAO you want to initiate, and it does it for you with AI agents running your AI DAO. It creates a token. Tokens that have been launched with these DAOs will start trading on fact.fun tomorrow. So if you have a little time today, check out what's going on with the AIBT, what the DAOs that have been launched are. Take a look at them and maybe identify the ones that you think might actually have a chance for lasting, and maybe buy a couple lottery tickets today. If you guys don't know, and there was some communications over yesterday at some of the group, the spaces that are happening in the ecosystem right now, and all the participation and all the integrated support, the intermingling support between projects and groups and everything is just fantastic. One of the subjects that came up was BNS. So if you don't have an ape, a Megapont ape, or I forget what the lower cost ones are. There's some cheaper ones that are like 3 stacks each that you can get and still participate as well. Change your PFP to a Megapont ape. Wasteland apes, I think, is the lower cost one. And that's showing support for the Stacks ecosystem. It's really an interesting movement. One of the other things we're talking about was .btc names. That's done as part of the BNS protocol. BNS V2 launched a few months ago. At the time, if you had a V1 BNS name, you are automatically given the V2 version, and then it's registered for 5 years. So you do not have to renew your BNS for 5 years on V2. But if you're looking for a new BNS or other types of, .btc, .stx, there's a bunch of others on there. You can head over to bns.1. They have a really interesting new platform that they're enhancing for that. Fact.fun we already mentioned, but there are several new tokens launched. It's a new token platform, similar, bonding curve token launch, just like stx.city, but a little bit different, doing things a little bit differently. So now we have options in the ecosystem, which is great. And I am a huge supporter of stx.city as well. I love Rafa. I love Kwawin. They're both good dudes innovating in the space. And so I support both platforms. But fact.fun is new. They got a bunch of new bonding curve tokens trying to get out of bonding curve. And now all of the AIBTC dev AI DAO's tokens are going to be on fact.fun. So check them out. Gary Reiger's gated.so is still in alpha test. Gated is going to be a platform for artists and creators to launch their digital assets and control access to the content they create. Go set up your account now. It only costs 1 STX to be early. Find to Earn with Zenitron this Thursday at 10 a.m. We'll have a long form episode. I think we're going to actually start doing 1 episode a day at the end of the morning show. There seems to be some interest in that. So stay tuned for more, but definitely tune in on Thursday to check that out. If you are looking to get started as a developer with Stacks, head over to www.stacks.co. Get started. It's right over on the right-hand side. You can click Get Started, and that'll bring you through to access developer tools, process to learn the basics, coding on Stacks, and then even how to build a full app, and then and also ways to get paid to build. That's all on there. So go check out stacks.co/build/get-started, or just go over to stacks.co. Right over in the top hand corner, it'll be Get Started, and that'll bring you into there. If you're interested in helping builders and devs test out their projects on Stacks, we're building a tester QA community. You can DM me at PeaceLoveMusicG on X if you're interested and you get an opportunity to poke around, help test out some projects, and then learn what's going on, learn what's being built, and maybe even just get some experience on how to build projects. If you are a developer looking for testers, experienced testers that are attached to the space, bless you. That's all right. I'm just live. If you are interested in helping us out, DM me, and or if you're looking for testers, DM me. And also every Friday at 11 a.m., the SIP and Innovation Call happens with Hero Gamer and the Stacks Foundation account. Come learn about the latest developments on the Stacks chain and give us your input on what you would like to see built in the space as well. That is the news for the day. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning. Block Web. That's actually right. When I was talking about Gary, I got sidetracked. Reese's Moshines is actually launching on Friday on Gary's Gated. It's going to be the second project launch on Gated after Good Kitty's When Walls Break album, which was really innovative and new. Good morning, nobody. What's up? How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I don't like the Doge. I don't like the Doge tie to government efficiency. I think it's a mockery. I don't like it. But we do what we got to do. And so that's the news. Said hi to all my friends. I really love when you guys chat in the chat or you just tuning in, sharing out the show, whatever. It's all always appreciated. Much love. And without further ado, I'm going to bring in my buddy, the homie. What's up, GP? How are you today, man?
Good morning. Doing good, man. Doing good. Building and getting bullish, man. We have seen some negative price action on Stacks for a little bit, but it looks like it might be finding a bottom finally. And I'm seeing all the other founders get together and kind of rally together, put together some narratives, and we're pushing together, making one giant push with the return to ape. So it feels good. Wasteland Apes is the other collection by Megapon. It is more affordable.
I'm at that age where my excessive cannabis consumption has caught up with me, and I forget words while I'm thinking about them.
No, dude, very relatable. Because I think I'm there too. Is like I remember some things, but others like I'll have to go do my research. So. Yeah, dude, it's been yesterday in I forget what spaces it was, but I mean the energy. I think it was Dave's STX hub. All the founders. We had Bitflow out there. We had Hermetica. We had Veller. Everybody was talking about all the things that they're building, and it's hard to be bearish right now. It feels good. I feel the sentiment shift, and it's awesome.
Honestly, the only thing I'm bearish about is not having much capital, dry powder to take advantage of the low prices.
Facts, dude.
I've already taken all the advantage I can out of most of the pricing, and so with that said, it's just wait and see now, right? I mean, when you conviction, eventually you act on all of the conviction, and we might need to be patient for a little while again too. Like things might not have been. It looks like there was a slight sell the news event in the coming in the tail of the inauguration, which I thought was great. I really do think I'm very hopeful. There's a lot of things talking about. Like people are actually talking about Canada possibly dissolving, and the parts of the something to do with because of the way they split budgets or share budgets across provinces where and the design of it has to do with energy production ends up being less like subtracted from that. So Quebec's got a huge amount of energy production as part of their economy because they have the falls and all the hydropower that they generate from that and a number of other things. So something with how it works is like the other provinces end up having to subsidize Quebec funding even though they have all of this energy income because that doesn't get included in their books or something. And so there might be some kind of dissolution where they break up into independent states and then kind of get absorbed into the US.
Wow. Yeah. So we might have some new states in the U.S. coming soon, including Greenland, right? Greenland might become a state. It's
Greenland is a very strategic. Northern Canada and Greenland are very strategic in the event of conflict between Russia and the U.S.
Yep, that's what I read.
Right, it's a very close attack vector.
Yeah, so it's kind of like close to a lot of like trading routes where ships kind of go in and out of they travel through that area too. So
it's also very close to like you can bring a lot of it's a short path across the top of the world between Russia and the U.S.
So yeah, it makes sense. I read something. I think it was late last year that when Donald Trump started talking about maybe trying to acquire Greenland, that they were sending like dog sled teams up to their more remote regions and just kind of getting active and increase their military budget and yeah, got active whenever he started talking about acquiring Greenland. I just took a peek at the Bitcoin chart. It looks like it's back up around like 104K, and yeah, looking good, looking good. I read. What else did I read? Don't quote me on this. This might not be a reliable source, but I think I've seen it in a few different places. The 1.62 trillion dollar Bank of America CEO says that the financial industry is ready for crypto payments if regulators approve approval. So, like Bank of America looking at getting into Bitcoin, right?
It's great this is what we've been wanting. We've got a crypto friendly government. We've got crypto adoption across TradFi big business. But it's not going to be linear. It's not going to be just a straight path towards acceptance. And, like Trump just bought 47. Full disclosure, my second largest bag is Ethereum. That's I'm not accumulating more Ethereum, but I'm not selling it either. And because I still think that there's a lot of activity going on Ethereum. Ethereum is connected to base chain, and so actually what Reese says about Panama is actually also very interesting. The U.S. needs to control the Panama Canal for strategic reasons as well. That's number one. If we're in a trade war with China, which it looks like we're going to probably be in, it's not going to be a hot war. I hope, knock on wood. Cardboard used to be wood. I'll get a little bit of that. It's not going to be a hot war, I don't think. Not here anyway. But there will be trade wars, and there's going to be. I could see the U.S. shifting to a tariff-based tax system, like a trade tariff tax system, where they get away from the income tax. I hope they do. And from an economic standpoint, all taxation actually inhibits economic development to some degree, because governments aren't going to spend that money as efficiently as private businesses that need to turn a profit usually. But it's better than the current system we have now. It's straightforward, and the way you avoid paying taxes is by consuming less. So there's that. Um,
Yeah, I was watching Trump, like he was signing a lot of executive orders as soon as he got into office yesterday, and one of the suggestions from somebody that was asking questions while he was signing in the Oval Office was, is he gonna do something with universal tariffs, right? Like, just any type of trade whatsoever. And he said that that is not out of the options that he has, right? He's thinking about it. Of course, he's already starting to apply these different tariffs to different trades, and um yeah, like that universal tariff thing, right? Like it is something along the lines of what you're talking about.
about a week ago or so, I heard the one of the plans is to create an external revenue service, which is for taxing entities outside of the United States, which would only be a commerce tax, right? I mean, it could be a tax on. It could also be maybe taxes on um, receiving defense resources too. You want us to maintain this base that protects your country with our military. Well, there's taxes on that. The game has changed. The old guard. There's a reason why. Look, I people have differing opinions on this, and we may never have definitive proof. But what I saw happen in 2020 was an obvious fraud, an obviously fraudulent electoral process with so many open vectors for fraud, and then a massive rejection of any even entertaining looking into it as a as a means to delegitimize the narrative. That doesn't happen if there wasn't this massive fraud perpetrated. It is what it is. It's not arguable. And so from that point, when you look at that there was this move, well, why was there this move? Well, because there is an ingrained ruling class in the United States that was rejected in 2016. And then, I don't know exactly all the details about what happened with COVID. It's pretty obvious it came from a lab. The lab was set up by the people that were doing that research in the US before it became illegal, and they had to move it outside of the US. And so it's plausible that it was used on purpose, or used even though it was maybe it was an accident, but it still was it was a tragedy that was not allowed to be um, missed opportunity. And so to me, it looks pretty clear that it was an event that was orchestrated and perpetrated for the purpose of derailing the movement away from this establishment, to get them back in control, which it served that purpose. Um, and honestly, if they could have actually done it again, they would have. Do you think that do you think that they can't do this? Well, I think they can. Clearly, they have the capacity to do all this. So, do you think that they wouldn't do it?
Right, and especially whenever they're cutting checks, the shush checks, right? Like, to everybody, and then you know, a lot of small businesses like failed, and you're right, like they failed during COVID, and My mother, she had her own pizza shop. It failed during COVID. She was a mom and pop pizza shop. So, yeah, like it really did consolidate a lot of different businesses. And, I can only imagine in higher, like, more meaningful. I'm not saying that a pizza shop is unmeaningful, but like in more important industries, right? Like that happened too. So, um, that's why this election was so important. Trump said this several different times that it was just too big to rig, and I do think that if people didn't get mobilized and get out there and vote, there's a lot of people that I know personally that have never voted in their life that voted in this election. So it's just it's nuts. We need change, and I think that we're going to start seeing changes very rapidly during 2025. I was reading
Let's hope.
Michael Saylor. Yeah, Michael Saylor grabbing some more Bitcoin too, dude. Um,
That doesn't even
11K,
surprise me anymore. What would
none.
surprise me if somebody said Sailor didn't buy any Bitcoin today? That's the news now. We
Yeah,
got
dude.
Block Phase in the house. What's up, Michael? Good morning, man. How are you today?
How's it going? Oh, we're on like the try screen. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
trying it a little bit different.
I
What do you
got
guys
this
think?
little.
Is this better or is this better?
Yeah,
Let's
let's
see.
ask the
Let's see the
chat.
side by
What is the
side.
chat liking? Yeah, this is our norm,
Does it look like I'm looking at
right?
you?
We usually have it set up like chat thing.
I wonder what it would look like if we had 9 people. Would we be the Brady
Yeah,
Bunch
we could
on
do
here
like
now?
the Bitcoin Hollywood Squares. You can say that again. You know, shit like that. Talk with your facial impressions.
Yeah, when's we got to get Reese up on one of these shows again soon.
Yeah,
It's been a
Reese's
while. I
Pieces.
know he's been busy. Reese,
He's
when
an
are you
art.
coming on to chat with us?
Like he's an artist. He's not
Yeah,
like
dude.
you and I. You understand?
He's an artist, but he's not unlike
Well,
you.
I'm an artist, and he
Yeah,
does
but you're
have
like
good
Filipino. It's
perspective,
different.
right?
You know.
He has machines coming up. Machines is coming up on
Mm.
Friday on gated.so, and he's also working with the Bob crew to produce some NFTs. I hope I didn't spill the beans there. It has been talked about in the Bob Takeover Committee, the group chat. So I got a little sneak peek, so I got a little excited. Sorry, Reese. But it is looking good. So keep a lookout for those.
Yeah,
Damn.
Machines is. I'm excited about that. But
Is
I just,
GPSC in the middle? Which
he
hat am
is.
I on? So it looks like I'm looking at him right now.
Yes.
Hmm.
You can't see it.
Sorry.
Are you wearing one
He's not
contact
looking.
lens again?
No, I got both in now. Can you see my? That's like. Does it look like I'm petting him?
No.
Welcome to the AI show.
So Vitalik is talking about, I guess
Keep
he's
going.
panicking a little bit, and he's saying that Vitalik Buterin claims sole decision-making power for Ethereum Foundation leadership changes until a new governance structure is implemented. Is that because ETH is at all-time lows, or like what's going on there? Like, what are they trying to figure out, right?
To be honest with you, so the ETH founded one of the news items today was that they just agreed that the Ethereum Foundation is buying like $150+ million worth of ETH or something.
And then we've got Trump picking up like
I'm sorry.
ENS names and stuff like that. It's
Trump just bought
yeah,
47.
it's wild.
So Trump bought $47 million worth of Ethereum yesterday and $47 million worth of wrapped BTC.
Can you say that one more time?
Ick.
The 47th president of the United States bought $47 million worth of Ethereum yesterday, $47 million worth of wrapped BTC, which is also on Ethereum, and then like $4.7 million worth of a number of other projects, Aave, Link. I don't remember what the other ones were, but they weren't Solana, they weren't XRP, it wasn't Cardano. It was
Why
Ethereum.
would the president be buying digital currencies? That doesn't make
Why would
any
he be
sense.
buying Ethereum at the low Bitcoin
Well,
Ethereum
hold on. Peter Thiel
price?
funded Vitalik with 200,000, right? You guys know that?
No,
Okay, hold on.
$200,000.
Would you?
Yeah, Peter Thiel, Vitalik, uterine, fellowship. Let me just open it up. Here we go. I'm just going to show this very quickly. Come on, everybody. All right. So, what does that look?
When was this? 21? Oh, it was originally 2014.
That
was a lot of money back then.
I wonder what Peter Thiel has to do with Ethereum. Wait a minute. A 20-year-old Toronto native, along with 19 other fellows, will receive $100,000 over the next 2 years. I wonder what they used it on. We hope the 2014 Teal Fellows inspire people of all ages as they demonstrate that you understand.
I do understand, but actually, why don't you spell it out actually for people? Like what that means.
So let me see if I
Peter
can do
Thiel,
some.
and why is that relevant to the conversation about
Now you're
Trump?
setting me up. I'm used to setting you up. Okay, so let's have some fun. All right, you can see my screen. So,
Oh, you were sharing it again?
yeah, sorry.
I didn't realize you had. I'm sorry, I had turned it off.
That's my mistake. So I'm gonna type in a search or a search. I guess you're searching for information.
So we're making this the AI segment.
There you go.
How do you research when you hear us talk about stuff and we don't explain it deeply? Well, you head over to Chat GPT
The term PayPal mafia.
and you query like an Egyptian.
There you go.
Is that an Egyptian? I don't know. Is that an attempt at like? Is that how Egyptians dance, or they?
I don't know.
That's just how they use a
That's how
computer.
the Aryans dance. So, co-founder of PayPal, Peter Thiel. Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman, David Sachs, Keith Rabois. Wait a minute. So, what's the GDP of the PayPal mafia given the market cap of the companies managed, overseen, or capitalized by the PayPal mafia? Make a table with relevant data. The cool thing is you don't really have to even spell things right. All right, so let's take a look. So, there is the balance sheet of the PayPal mafia. What do you guys think?
Man, these guys are paid.
Blow up like the World Trade. So, I'm just gonna pause there. Peace, you're setting me up, by the way. Peace asked this question for anyone like clipping this. Peace asked this, and Van and White.
I asked you to explain yourself.
Yes, and sometimes I don't want to. You understand? This is why. PayPal Mafia, we love you.
Wait, you're afraid of them?
I mean, they're part of the government now, and the government has a monopoly on violence, so you better, and H-1Bs.
Well, how do you handle? Well, that's actually an interesting question. How do you handle it when someone comes at you violently? Do you just accept that they're more powerful than you and comply?
I guess you have to, right? What are you gonna do? Like, what
Maybe
other
you
choice
try to
do you
talk it
have?
over with them and
Oh
explain
yeah,
to them
yeah.
why
Like,
they're being
discuss
kind
it
of
with the
douche nozzles.
truncheon.
It's like, do you guys really want to be such douche nozzles? Share
What
some
do
of
you think about this policy? I think I like it.
that. I'm coming
Who are you gonna
around.
vote for again? Trump? Biden? You know, right? I think that's how
I
Jan
think
6
I
went
like
down.
it.
So you're saying that we've just exchanged one group of fraudulent douche nozzles for another.
Mm, I believe that we need to have diametrically opposed nozzles in order to keep the ship afloat. So every 8 years, we kind of like, you know what I mean? And like,
So we
it's kind of
need
like
the
being on a cruise
veneer of
ship.
a false dichotomy to prevent the power structure from collapsing on its own weight.
It's only false if you don't believe.
Belief means that it's not proven.
Yeah, but this is the beauty of doublespeak. We can speak and believe, even though it's not true, with a straight face and open hearts. So, wait, so
Can you believe in
the
something you know is not true?
the PayPal mafia, right? I guess, I mean, this is probably public knowledge right now. I get anything is public knowledge if you know how to type in the search keywords, huh? So, um, let's look at a few people here, right?
Oops, I'm sorry, I shut that off. Hold on,
That's
I'll turn
okay.
it back on.
So, um, you know, you might have heard of Palantir, you might have heard of LinkedIn, you might have heard. Oh, look, X is not even here.
X isn't even on there.
So, okay, so if you want to really get down to it, again, tell me if I'm going too fast. But this is just Google. Was it Read? Was it Read? I'm looking for something. Come on, everybody's.
To be completely honest, I don't think that those guys are all necessarily bad just because
No,
they
not
made
at
a lot of
all.
money.
No, no, no.
I was just saying most of that stuff comedically, but they do wield maybe maybe an exorbitant amount of power beyond what is reasonable,
Mm.
and so that they at least with that position of power have some responsibility morally to to not act violently, to not to be to actually actively oppose violence, to oppose censorship, to promote better ways to do things. They have an opportunity, and hopefully they'll act accordingly.
Wait a minute. Why is this so? This Wikipedia was updated. Who invested in JD Vance given the above? Let's see if it searches the web. Ah, there we go. It's starting to make sense.
Well, why don't you actually explain what it is that is the eureka moment that's making sense?
Have you ever heard of a syndicate?
I've heard of such a thing.
Hmm.
I always thought it was actually like, make believe, like conspiracies. They don't actually happen.
You're setting me up. So, many different names, same idea. A keiretsu is a Japanese business network of companies that are loosely connected through shareholdings and business relationships. I think in Japan we can look at Mitsubishi. You ever see Mitsubishi?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, shout out Professor Richardson. You're the one that taught me all this stuff. Mitsubishi, 3 diamonds. That represents the syndicate behind Mitsubishi, a conglomerate. Another example. Sogo Shosha. It's another way to look at a syndicate. Mitsubishi. Now, a syndicate is a group of people or organizations that work together to achieve a common goal. So, the big idea here is that, Peace, what was your original question?
Well, you said now does it make sense? And you were kind of proposing that JD Vance is connected to Peter Thiel, and I think this syndicate that are all kind of offshoots of the PayPal mafia. Which TradFi was very against, by the way, when it first came out. They did not want PayPal.
Imagine how much support you have if you're invested in by the PayPal mafia, along with Eric Schmidt of Google and Mark Andreessen of A16Z. Oh, wait a minute. Naria Capital. Da-na. Kies. Cascatil. Nadia. Oh, they're in Ohio. Incredible. So just one of those things where it's not, I'm saying they're good or bad. Nothing is good or bad. Only thinking makes it so, right? As it were.
Only subjectivity actually makes anything good or bad.
So I'm going to pause there. GPSC, Peace. Anything that you've observed so far after that kind of quick overview?
Well, so what hasn't been connected is how these guys are connected to crypto. But we know they are.
Well, to the tune of $200,000 at the bottom of Ethereum, the same guy, Peter Thiel, who, 500, I think he made one of the best investments in all of Silicon Valley in Facebook. He was right at the ground floor, right?
Didn't they screw him? They screwed him, didn't they?
Peter Thiel?
They screwed somebody. I forget who it was.
I think it was the Winklevoss twins.
What? No, I don't think so.
No.
It was Peter Thiel. Actually got screwed in that deal eventually because they diluted the fuck out of his shares. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he got paid off of that. But the big idea is that you know how you talked about these factions? I'm just laying out kind of little points, and then anyone can string them together. This is just my version of stringing them along together. Elon Musk paid $50 billion to win the election.
Okay, let's put that in perspective. He paid $50 billion to buy X.
Correct.
He still has that asset. He also used it to broaden his other enterprises as well.
And I'm not saying this is good or bad, by the way.
No, right? But it wasn't just $50 billion to win the election. It was $50 billion to actually have a broad media tool, a distribution and information.
I thought a KOL was a broad media tool.
What?
I thought a KOL was a broad media tool.
Well, they're definitely tools, but no, I meant I meant more like I think more like so we know that the government, poor Mark Zuckerberg was such a victim in all of this. We know that the government was forcing them to censor people, and they didn't want to, even though they actually were censoring you long before that.
Again, they had that truncheon. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can you share us that data? I don't want to. Right? So
Well, it's not even sharing that data.
you
It's
like the
it's
trunching?
it's stopping the dissemination of information, whether it's true or not. And they were doing that on X and everything else too.
Mm.
And Elon Musk bought X specifically. You're right. There was no way they were going to win the election if he hadn't taken over X. It wouldn't have got. They would have been able to fake the whole thing. They would have been able to manufacture support that didn't exist, which is what they did last time across social media. They 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 squashed voices that were in opposition to any of the narratives that they wanted. You weren't allowed to talk about the danger of vaccine of these experimental
Whoa,
vaccines.
whoa, whoa!
You weren't
Experimental
about
vaccines? What are you talking about? Those weren't experimental.
they weren't.
Vanna, have you heard about this?
Um, the the vaccines mRNA was new, right? We know this. This isn't surprising, but that's
Whoa,
not the
whoa!
point. That's not the point.
This
You
guy.
weren't
Look
allowed
at
to.
us slowly move out of the frame. It's
You
like.
weren't allowed to talk about it
Oh yes.
on social media unless you were promoting it, unless you were telling everybody to go get one. It's important, and then you got boosted. So,
Sorry. Boosted.
no pun intended.
Is that what they call it? Boosting a post? Oh no!
Nobody
You want to
famous.
boost this post? Sorry.
Nobody famous says they definitely were experimental, and I know you were just kidding. Obviously, we all know that they were. It was new. mRNA was not a tested
Whoa.
way to deliver. It's not even really a vaccine.
Violence today.
I'm not violent. I'm just honest. Is honesty violent?
Yeah, it can be.
When is? That's an interesting concept.
We have a
Now
comment
I'm
from the
now I'm
audience.
conflicted.
Definitely
You've given me a moral conflict.
Definitely were experimental. How dare you? I'll have you know they did extensive testing. Because I heard it on TV.
Well, it's just
Oh, you heard it, so it's true. Okay.
Yeah, I saw the white paper. They wouldn't deviate from the white paper, would they?
if it's in a white paper, it's got to be.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
man.
look. We all understand what was going on now. The government isn't waging massive censorship campaigns to do good things.
I will say
They're
this.
not.
There's a reason why he's signed the executive order on getting out of the WHO. Right?
That's actually surprising. I'm
Really?
surprised that it went that. I mean, I think it's necessary because the WHO is it's a political organization. It's not a health organization. They don't promote health. They promote political narratives around health.
It's almost like we're in 1984 again, where OpenAI is a closed company and the World Health Organization is responsible for allegedly.
Is it responsible for what?
Uh, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
hmm
The
You've heard,
the
you've heard
Mexican
about
beer, the Mexican beer scenario.
that. I heard there was an executive action on that too.
No more Corona lights.
Is that what they call the
God.
Redskins?
And if you do have one, you better not put a lime in there. So help me.
You got to put in the thumb and turn it upside down.
No, you better not. Right out.
So
Right back to the Caribbean for you.
I'm gonna share my screen again. I have a few
Oh,
things I want to
you
show
mean
you.
I'm sorry, the Gulf of the
No.
United States,
The Gulf.
the Gulf of America.
Mm.
Wasn't that something you said yesterday about changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America?
Mm.
There's a lot not
Yep.
to like.
He did.
There's a lot not to like.
So here is a quick, as I share my screen here, here's a bunch of stuff that I saw. Do you know who that is? That's what-
Hold on. Let me turn it on so we can all see this.
Gangster photo.
I don't know who that is.
That's Whitney Houston.
Oh man, that's tragic.
Kind of gangster though, eh? She's enjoying herself.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, she's
tragic,
smart.
man.
She's smiling, man. So
What goes on in the entertainment industry is foobar to the max. To be honest, it's really not good stuff.
thought this was funny. This is accurate for me. Is it accurate for you?
Well, it's amusing. I'm not sure.
You remember vibes?
I do.
Mhm.
Is he gonna come? Is he gonna come chat with us again, or he didn't like the vibes over here?
No, he's early on Trump, early on Melania, relatively early on XRP. Good
Bruce.
vibes capital.
Be right back, guys.
That's good vibes. Sure. For the ladies or the men.
That was a cool guy, right? Or
Yeah,
what was his
that's
name?
good vibes.
Chill guy. Chill guy.
Yeah,
What was it?
chill guy. Yeah. It's not
That
gambling.
didn't make it though, did it?
Depends when you sold.
That's true. That's true. I would have sold
Nothing
the
is-
day he talked about it on our show.
Nothing is good or bad, only trading makes it so, huh?
Nothing is good or bad except for the experience that the individual has on anything. You know, all value is subjective. That's why all value is subjective.
Well, except when you go to the exchange. Where is Sam Harris, by the way? He was pissed off at Trump. Is he all right?
Oh, he's the worst.
Oh, he is the worst. Isn't it funny that the intellectual dork web one, right? Eric and because you have who was the dark web? It was Eric Weinstein, right? Manager of TL Capital. Did pretty well.
What?
You know Eric Weinstein?
Yeah, I didn't. He was the manager.
He
was
is
the
the
manager.
manager of TL Capital.
I did not know that. I like Eric Weinstein.
Oh, he's great. Well, I mean, sometimes he can like complain a lot that nobody's listening to my science. Shut up.
Yeah, he
Nobody's
gets a little.
listening to my science. You're connected to Peter Thiel. Why don't you ask him to listen? Oh, no one let me play in the game. Shut up. Oh man. Anyway,
Did you name your dog after Bruce Springsteen? big Springsteen fan down there.
oh man. So the IDW one. Sorry, Sam Harris.
Oh, dude.
I believe that we can disagree. Go ahead.
Yeah, my dog does stuff sometimes. Sorry about that. And he doesn't tell me. Yeah, he does stuff. So, gotta make sure that I'm a good dog. Yeah.
Yeah,
Carry on. I'm sorry.
we are. We're actually just a little side comic relief. We are actually in the process of. We're waiting till the spring, so it's easier to train. But we will be getting my daughter her first puppy
Ah.
in the next probably month
Oh,
or so.
sick.
Were you waiting for the election?
Yeah, I couldn't afford it. If it was Kamala, it would have had to been like, you know, I don't know what's cheaper than a dog. A
Is
canary.
this true? The Schopenhauer truth hype cycle?
I just I normally go to number 3 when it is actually self-evident.
Hmm.
And then I get ridiculed. And then I get violently opposed.
Would you say that given Trump's
So
recent
you do the opposite.
transactions- All right. So, here's your boy. This is what happens when they let you hire H-1Bs instead of Americans that can't read past the 6th grade reading level. This is what happens. Thank God I don't have to hire these pylons. Have you seen the before and after of X?
Wow, is he actually doing a double Nazi salute in that picture?
Is that one of them?
Amazing. It's so obvious.
Let him have his fun, man. Let him have his fun. You know?
No, listen, I appreciate Elon. I don't put him on a pedestal, but I think he's done a lot of cool things, and I think at the end of the day, he's a net positive for humanity. At least on its face, it appears that way. But I could be wrong. Maybe he's waiting. He's trying to lure us all in with this altruism and support of freedom and well, what does he support really? Freedom.
Well, we're gonna get to that actually. What do they support? What does each side support? Why are they doing it? To what end does it serve? That's this over here. But I'm getting there.
I'm
So-
concerned more with what both sides support, which is centralized control.
How dare you? So, a lot of people pretend that they read 1984, and none of them have. Anyone listening here, even you guys, none of you read 1984. I know that because nobody, when I mentioned the theory and practice of oligarchical collectivism, it's all the way on the 200th page, right? So a lot of the fucking, aristocracy, they pretend to read by quoting things, but they've never read shit. This is a good place to kind of evolve into. Have you ever heard that ignorance is strength?
I've heard that quoted from the movie or from the book.
Splitting up of the world into 3 great superstates was an event which could and indeed was foreseen before the middle of the 20th century. So, we are in Oceania. There's also Australasia and East Asia. So, have you ever seen this before?
I have. I've watched movies, reenactments, and stuff like that. I've never read the book in its entirety. I've read pieces of it, and I understand what it's about.
To understand the nature of the present war, for in spite of the regrouping which occurs every few years, it is always the same war. One must realize, in the first place, that it is impossible for it to be decisive. Let's keep going.
You mean the end of the war?
Here we go. So, the primary aim of modern warfare, in accordance with the principles of doublethink, is to use up the products of the machine without raising the general standard of living. Ever since the end of the 19th century, the problem of what to do with the surplus of consumption goods has been latent in the industrial society. At present, when few human beings even have enough to eat, this problem is obviously not urgent, and it might not have become so, even if no artificial processes of destruction had been at work. So, where are we?
It's actually why the government works so hard on inflation, like actually causing inflation. The government's a massive cause of inflation through waste and
possible, no doubt, to imagine a society in which wealth, in the sense of personal possessions and luxuries, should be evenly distributed, while power remained in the hands of a small privileged caste. But in practice, such a society could not long remain stable, for if leisure and security were enjoyed by all alike, the great mass of human beings who are normally stupefied by poverty would become literate and would learn to think for themselves. And when they had done this, they would sooner or later realize that the privileged minority, never mind. So, to your point, it would seem that power seeks control for control itself. It doesn't necessarily need to believe in a moral end apart from control.
Right. It seems like the paradigm is all actions are to just maintain control or seize control.
I saw the white paper. I saw the white, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the white. He's now in power. Sorry. So we got that was all unexpected, right? But Balaji Srinivasan, who's the head of essentially Ethereum along with Vitalik, uh, he had a short lecture back in 2014 about the exit. You ever see that talk?
No, the exit. The exit
The
from
ex-
what?
he said that when people are unable to enact change within the system, and they fail and they fail and they fail and they fail, they eventually look for the exit and start creating their new version, right? And not to say that that's what Network Stake wants to do, but if you read between the lines, right?
You don't actually have to exit to start creating the new.
You're right, but that's what they did. You know what I mean? Whether it's Ethereum or Solana, right? Solana is Silicon Valley coin, right? And literally, David Sachs, right? The All In podcast were laughing about how much money they made on Solana, right? So when you look at investments into Solana, right? Investments into Ethereum, right? That's PayPal Mafia and company. And they've done well for themselves, and they had to do it. One would argue they had to do that because no one was going to let them play in the existing reindeer games. That makes sense? So that's kind of where I want to land with that, which is I don't blame anyone for doing anything. I believe that a lot of these people tried for a long time to make things work. Join the system, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of the people in this space, a lot of the people I talk to actually, they enjoy this semi-professionalism because the professionalism is everything that they're uncomfortable with now. Does that make sense? This over professionalism and this
It
kind
lacks
of putting a
authenticity.
veneer. Yeah, the
Right.
lacquer, putting a lacquer on, you know what I mean?
It's right.
Things.
Well, it's inauthentic. People want authenticity. That's really
I'm starting to notice that. Like, not even look for. I'm talking, and this is somebody doing AI and all that stuff. Authenticity might be one of the most important competitive advantages right now in a world full of people not authoring their things. You know what I mean? I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I have some machine doing it, blah blah blah.
well,
This might
even
be.
just representing the truth of what you actually believe in. It's not easy to do because people don't like it when you disagree with them, or when you maybe say something that is contrary to what they want to see happen, or contrary to the outcomes they're seeking. So the closest thing that I have to a religion personally is the truth. I try to always be honest about everything, because if you are
Sorry, keep
not,
going. Let me just get the door. One sec.
yeah. So if you're not honest about everything you do, it creates this false reality for yourself. Actually, who you're actually ultimately being dishonest to is yourself. And so you create this false world that you can't actually maintain. It becomes a trap for you. So I'm always going to say what I think, and if I'm saying something, it's what I believe to be true. And that adds weight to when I say things, because I become reliably honest and authentic. And then I also try not to have any agenda beyond being honest about things, so that it's very hard to move forward with things when you're not actually honest about stuff.
Jordan Peterson had a lecture. I guess we can say his name, right? Called "Why Might You Be Villainous?" Why might you act like a villain? And the thrust of the speech was that we all have the capacity to act like a villain. We actually all do. And
Yeah,
sometimes we
right.
explain it away. Oh, I acted like a victim because they were victimizing me. Oh, I acted like a victim because it didn't have that many, exogenous impacts. There are, and we've all done this, yours truly included, rationalized villainous behavior because it suited us. And when you see it and you're honest with yourself about what you've done, it gives you pause because you realize, I'm not much different than any of the people that I say are doing bad things. Because according to Ted DiBiase, everyone has a price. Everyone has a price, Ted DiBiase. And in that world, I don't blame individuals for turning down a night with Jenny. You guys know Jenny, right?
Jenny. Oh, Jenny.
Generational
Jenny.
wealth.
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, why don't you love me? Right? So who's gonna
Jenny.
I'm not
in
sure what we're talking about.
so like generational wealth? Like who's gonna turn down generational wealth? Right? That's why they have entrapment laws. Right? Because if you start after $2 million, everyone says yes. That's kind of So I don't necessarily
You mean
expect,
everyone would do just about anything for $2 million?
and even like the Milgram experiment, the experiment must continue with the buttons, right? Even if it's not money, they will comply as long as the person has a lab coat. Um, so
Well, because in that so in the experiment scenario, they're not actually the one doing the wrong thing in their mind. They're doing what they're told. So
well,
they're not consciously making a decision to do something bad. They're just making a decision to to follow an authority.
I think I lost the audience there. Um, I
Well,
I
there's a
don't
lot of things I wouldn't do even for $2 million.
I don't blame people for rationalizing villainous activity if it serves the perceived health of their immediate family.
It's There are definitely things that can. It's easy to buy politicians. That's actually a
What?
lot of why our
Whoa,
situation.
whoa,
It's
whoa,
easy to buy
whoa.
politicians.
Wait a
That's why our
minute.
system is so fucked. Because
You
it's
hear this,
really
Anna?
easy. It's really easy to. It's really easy. Like you said, there's a price, especially when you actually control the printer and you can just manifest money into thin air and
I
give
don't.
it to whoever. And then those that you can't actually entice with money, there's all sorts of honeypots that you can get them into where they think nobody's looking and it's not that big of a deal what they did, and then
Mhm.
they were beholden to you. It's easy to compromise people
Listen,
if they aren't authentic in their values.
and even if they are, you know,
Uh,
that
I
just
don't know.
morals are just CSS user interface
Well,
design.
I'm not sure. So it has to be worth $2 million, right? But I don't know what harm I would do to another person for $2 million. You know, no matter how much it can buy my daughter.
It's not harm if you never see the blood.
Do you really believe that?
No, but
No.
yes, because that's how
It's easier to ignore
uh,
the harm.
there are. As long as we get what we want, we can rationalize just about anything.
Well, that's why I think it's important for people to really deliberately ponder
Mm,
what do they want. Most
mm,
people don't know what they want. Most people haven't really thought deeply about what they want.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They think they want what they've been told to want.
Mimetics. We
So when
inherit
people
our wants from the aspirational characters in our life. Mm-hmm.
right. So if you do more deep thinking and actually meditating on the world that you want to see exist, how you want things to be, and then you work on becoming the version of yourself that exists in that world, that's actually how you understand what you want. And part of being the me that I exist in the world I want to see exist
Mm-hmm.
is not compromising my values for short-term comfort.
Why might you be villainous, audience? Why might you be villainous? Great show. You can't spell villainous without AI.
You can't spell villainous without villa
In Manila.
in Manila. No, there's no M in villainous. No,
If you turn the V upside down and double it.
that's true. Or just like mirror the N on its straight line too. You can
Oh man, I wasn't able to convince him. He's with PeaceLoveMusic on this one.
she.
You know what? I will say this though. I hope you don't agree with me if you're listening to my voice. Does it make sense? I hope Peace is right.
Well, it's not right or wrong, actually, right? It's all just depends on how it plays out. If
Well,
somebody showed up at my house offering me $2 million to, so I ran for office a long time ago, state office. I was not in a good mental. I was not in a good mental state. My ex
is that
had
why you
just
ran?
left me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
My
Oh,
ex had just left me
wow.
with 4 kids. I
Damn.
was in my I was 33 years old. I had 4 kids, ages actually almost 13, almost 12, 10, and not quite 10 and
Mm-hmm.
6, something like that. And this guy that I knew who was like this crazy guy who just were perpetually running for multiple offices at the same time. Nuts. The guy was nuts. I
Wow.
rest in peace. He called me up and he's like, "Oh, today's the last day
Mm-hmm.
to put yourself on the docket to run." And so I ran it. I ran as an independent for state rep. The the incumbent I was running against was actually the Speaker of the House in Rhode Island, which is actually more powerful than the governor. It's actually our state constitution actually makes the Speaker of the House the most powerful position. So I didn't have any real like there was no threat of me actually beating this guy. And he was a Democrat. Rhode Island is blue no matter who as much as anyone. Um, I'll make this quick. So immediately after I threw my hat in the race as an independent, the Republican candidate, who was also the city party chair, asked me to come to meet him for drinks or something, and I had a couple whiskeys on him while he was promising me that if I dropped out of the race, that they would make me they would endorse me as the party's nominee for state senate. I did not drop out
Wow.
of the race
Because you didn't want to do good in the world as state senator?
because I wanted to do good in the world as an uncompromised person that held on
Yeah,
to my
man.
values.
Yeah, man. You could have been president
What
by now.
do you guys
Yeah,
think that,
dude.
would
Peace, love,
would that
music
be,
for president, man.
See, it's worth it to lie if you can bring peace to the world. Huh? Isn't it worth to lie if you can bring
have to
peace to
be
the world?
president to bring peace to the world?
Sorry?
Do you have to be president to bring peace to the world?
Well, you have to be president to stop violence, apparently.
I don't know. I feel like the
Hasn't he?
president the president represents the waging of a lot of violence.
From what I can tell,
The office.
people are celebrating in Jerusalem and crying on the border. So who's to say what the net is on harm? I guess, huh?
Well, there's a lot of ways to look at that too, right? Because some of the worst things that I've had happen to me in my life have shaped me into the person that I am. So anyway, I know Mike's got to go. We've actually talked way longer than I was expecting. We've come up at 10 o'clock. We can wrap the show here. Michael, thank you so much for joining. GP, why don't you take us out? Give us some final words.
Yeah, dude. I think that the space is evolving, and we are doing some justice, right? We are all here helping each other, and if we continue to thrive together, we are stronger together as a community. Just remember to keep love in the room as you continue to build and keep chipping away. We're gonna get